Chord Theory 2, the structure of the 7th chord. During this tutorial we'll look at the major 7th, the minor 7th and the dominant 7th. In order to understand this tutorial, you should know the major scale, the minor natural scale and the Mixolydian scale. It's also useful to go over the lesson Chord Theory 1. If you don't know the names of the notes on the neck, a fret map would be useful for reference. The structure of the major 7th chord. The major 7th chord is derived from the notes in the major scale. For this tutorial we'll use C major. The first step is to find the triad of the major scale. The triad is the first, third and fifth note. The C major triad then is C, E and G, and this is the basic structure of the C major chord. To complete the notes needed to construct a major 7th chord, we take the major triad and now add the 7th note of the major scale. This is B. So, the notes required to make a C major 7th chord are C, E, G and B. This can be demonstrated by taking a C major open chord and converting it to a C major 7th open chord. This can be done by taking the first finger, which is a C, and removing it, exposing the B open string. This now then is a C major 7th open chord. There are several different ways to play the C major 7th chord, but they all share the same notes, even though the notes may not be in the same order. The structure of the minor 7th chord. The minor 7th chord is derived from the notes of the minor natural scale. In this case we will use the A minor natural scale. To find the notes of the minor 7th chord we use exactly the same formula as we did for the major 7th chord. That is, the first note of the scale, the third note of the scale, the fifth note of the scale, and the 7th note of the scale. So, the notes in A minor 7 are A, C, E and G. To demonstrate this, you can see the A minor open chord. This can be turned into the A minor 7th chord by adding a G. In this case, that can be done two ways. Either the 3rd fret on the E string can be played, or the open G string can be played. Either way is correct, and they are both A minor 7th. There are several other ways of playing the A minor 7th chord, but they all share the same notes, again though, not necessarily in the same order. The structure of the dominant 7th chord. The dominant 7th chord is derived from the Mixolydian scale, and it uses exactly the same formula as the major 7th chord and the minor 7th chord. That is, the first note of the scale, the third note of the scale, the fifth note of the scale, and the 7th note of the scale. For this tutorial we're using the G Mixolydian scale, and the notes produced by the formula are G, B, D and F. The dominant 7th chord shares the same properties as the previous chords, in that several chord shapes can be made from the same notes, but not necessarily in the same order. This produces several different chord shapes which have the same name. The dominant 7th chord is the chord we refer to more commonly as just the 7th chord. For example, D7, A7 and G7 are all dominant 7th chords.